Trimble Construction One HRM is a pretty straightforward functionality for both the onboarding process, and also it gives the employee the ability to look at their personal earnings and personal info and also make some changes. So ignore the rest of this. This is part of the team application, but a user profile who's in HR would have a dashboard app that looked like this. And if you're an employee also, you would only have this app right here on your login screen that's all cloud-based. If you look here from an HR standpoint, you'll have a new hire dashboard to manage. You're going to get a quick snapshot of everything that's needing to be done. But if I go into that new hire dashboard, you'll see the fact that here's all the employees we currently have out there that invited to hire. And you could also take a look at all the tasks that have been completed. Example, if I go into Ace Monroe, Viewpoint or Trimble will give you the I-9, the personal info, and the W-4 forms. And then there is a report generator that comes along with this that you can create your own reports, other documentation, including videos. And therefore, we have that ability to say, you know, based upon this job hire type in this region, we could say that what documentation do I want to have that employee actually fill out for us? And that will flow to the HR manager for them to actually, you know, review and approve when they're ready to be done. As you can see, some of that information will be scraped off, and this will give you what will eventually flow to payroll in Spectrum itself. Kind of a nice way, have the employee do what they're supposed to do, have HR review it, make any modifications that they need to have happen. And when they're ready, we initialize the Spectrum, which will set that employee up in payroll to start processing their checks. So pretty simple that way. If I was going to invite a new hire, it's this simple, where I'm going to give a name, give it an email address, I can give it a phone number. And then the big key is we have this profile group, and this is going to be defined by you. It could be just have one profile group for your entire company. It could be by different divisions within your company. And it could be like this example where we have different regions. And the reason why we have potentially multiple profile groups would be because of the fact that maybe a carpenter has different information we want to be captured from the Eastern region versus the West Coast region. That's the kind of concept. And we may have a different hiring manager who's responsible for hiring people here and versus here. That's the reason why there is a profile group. And then so within a profile group, we actually have the job roles, right? Who do we get to hire? So let's say I was going to do that and hire this guy for an estimator, in this case, Greater Philadelphia. Based upon how I did that, here's all the information that I'm actually asking based upon that profile of the documentation we want this employee to fill out. The next thing we would do is send that invitation, and that will go out. That will go out to the employee themselves. As you can see here, that would go out to, this is what this would actually look like on a, in my case, I did it on a mobile phone. And so you're going to see, hey, you know, you're invited. Let's begin that onboarding process on my mobile phone. And so I would be able to begin the process on my mobile phone of actually starting to, you know, fill in my name, my last name, and I will get sent a code that via text that I'll have to pump in. And therefore, I can start filling out all the forms and documentation on my mobile phone. It could have been to your home computer, your call. So it's very nice, easy, simple interface for the employees to start doing their job of, entering the documentation and submitting that as they need to do to get hired. The other things that are here, so if I went to HR management, you saw about the new hire dashboard. The hiring setup is pretty simple, where we're going to actually, again, decide the profile groups, which are the regions, the companies, the divisions, could be one, could be many, what kind of text we would want to send out there. And then obviously we're going to have a whole lot of different types of documents that you maybe create. They could be form fillable PDFs. They could be ones that you create yourselves. They could be links to things like videos, your call, and you can define if things are supposed to be required, not required, so forth. Very simple to set up, very simple to use, very simple to manage. On the employee side, if I went back to HR management, a couple different things, and I apologize the fact that I have not paid myself in this demonstration, but the employee, as they are logged into their portal, they will be able to see their pay stubs and pull those down and print them out. And so they'll be able to, you don't have to mail those anymore. They'll be available on the portal. The same thing at the end of the year when you have your W-2s, they'll be able to pull those down too. So self-service portal that way. If I also come back here and look at HR management one more time, and I want to take a look at my personal info, this part is being built out pretty rapidly from Trimble's viewpoint side. The nice thing about this is that not only can an employee come in here and if they got married, change their last name, if that would happen to be something that would happen, or home contacts. If you see any of these edit buttons, it says, hey, I could change my home phone. I could change my email address. I could change my address itself. If you notice these pending things, this means I've done it as an employee and it's queued up in the HR manager to review. And if they say okay, then just have that flow automatically to update the payroll record in Spectrum. But you can see the mailing address, work contact, any of these are editable, and the employee could make a change. Same thing with the emergency contacts. We can set those up. New feature right here on direct deposit. So if an employee was saying, hey, I need to come onto the portal and I need to add an account because I changed banks and I want you to direct deposit into my new bank, they'd be able to do that. Add all that in routing code and all that information here. And again, get it routed to the HR manager to review and decide if it's acceptable or not. And if they accept it, then it'll flow and set that up in payroll for the next payroll run. So very nice. This will eventually get built out with additional functionality, but initially, again, from the employee standpoint, pull off their pay stubs, get their W-2s, and modify or update any of the personal or emergency contact and direct deposit. So that's in a little bit with HR management. Pretty simple to use, pretty straightforward. A lot more is being built out still on this product over time. Thank you.